So hey, hi Altaf, am I audible? Hello, hello. Altaf, am I audible? Yeah, yeah, like you are a bit audible, but actually your voice is not clear. Yeah, that was quite good. Okay, so Altaf, as you know about the developer school, like where you will get this know about from the developer school.
I was actually searching about Laravel on YouTube, so I got to know about your channel and I viewed some of your interview videos. That was quite well actually.
Yeah, like that was actually all are the real videos, as you, that are not actually part of these are the practice which we are doing currently. They are actually the real videos.
Yeah,
Like
I know.
yeah.
Correct. As you mentioned in that video,
Yeah, definitely. So in that case, like I cannot do with the
I know
audios and
that.
all because all are dependent over the environment and other things. So that was quite good. So Altaf, I have just
Correct.
seen your CV and I find out it's like quite good, but I should think that you should have to do some improvements in that. Like including that, you should have to include some good templates. Templates, I mean, I will send you my
Okay.
CV, you too also. So like you can check it out, like what I have did in that. Another thing, like you should have to be
Okay.
clear about have you familiar with ATS?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
sir.
was a resume tracker CRM. Okay, so in that, like if
Yeah,
you,
correct.
yeah, so if you are like giving interview to the big MNCs, because big MNCs are also working with like in Laravel as well, so they are getting your CV just by from that ATS. So please make that CV according, so like you can get the chance to give the interviews in that companies as well, because they are not taking this much advanced level of interviews. They will ask you from the basics, and that was like very needful to be you to clear out the other things. So I hope so like it will clear.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So brief me about yourself.
So I'm actually a Laravel developer since 1 year in my current organization. I'm actually working on, I've already worked on three projects to be honest. The first project was an OEM based insurance portal where I had to make RESTful APIs on that. And then on the second project was a retail motor insurance portal. So where I had to do both the front end and the back end stuff. And in the third project, it is a client onboarding project, which I'm actually leading with four developers under me.
Okay.
So I think that is about it.
So where are you from?
From Navi Mumbai, Ganshwari.
Where?
Navi Mumbai.
You are living in Mumbai.
No, yes, Navi Mumbai. Navi Mumbai actually.
Okay. 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 Just a second. Give me a. Well, I should
Yeah.
have to make my phone silent so that like it will not interrupt us. Okay. That
Okay.
is okay. Yeah. So like you are living in Delhi.
No. Navi Mumbai. It's
Navi
near
Mumbai.
Mumbai
Navi
basically.
Mumbai. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like some sound issues from your side, so I cannot able to listen you properly. So just because of that, I should have to ask
Okay. I'm sorry.
multiple times.
Okay. No problem.
Yeah, no issues. So how much your package is currently?
Currently, I have joined as a PHP developer as a fresh.
Yeah.
So, my current package is 2.16 without any reduction. So,
Okay,
monthly
okay.
I get 18,000 per month.
That was quite good. And what was your expectations?
Expectation as a fresher.
No, no, that is not about the expectation. Because of that, like if you are working with a domain with a 1 year of experience, so suppose that like if you are working with this platform with a 1 year of experience, so it was having the chance to be having the 8 LPA also, because it also depends on your
Yeah.
caliber. And we know like that the like MNCs which
Yeah.
hire to the freshers, they are giving the this is as a starter package. So like it was not about like packages
Yeah.
because they are very to vary according to companies.
Mm.
Yeah, so
No,
no
I'm
issues.
actually currently working in my first company only. I
Hmm.
haven't switched yet.
Yeah,
But
that was quite good. I
actually,
think so. Like you should have to work for 2 years.
why is that?
Like you should have to work for the same company for 2 years, because like whenever you are just going to a new company, like they are seeking that how much stable you are. In small companies, that is
Okay.
always reliable. Like this person is working in the 3 years from this company. That means this is a stable person. So like if they haven't budget of 50K or like 60K, but they will still try to give you. Why? Because they are seeing the stability inside you. Like this person has the stability. Like we should have to give the that package actually. So stability is the
Okay.
most concern. So what do you know about PHP?
Basically, PHP is a server-side scripting language. It basically powers more than 70% of the website on internet.
Okay.
And PHP is mostly famous for making CMS, that is WordPress, Joomla, and other CMS basically.
So
Yeah.
which one is the current
But
version of PHP?
it is 8.3, the
8.3.
latest one.
And which PHP version
Yeah.
you have worked? Like currently a PHP version where you are working?
I've been working on 8.2 actually.
8 point?
Two.
8.2. So what was new inside that?
Yeah.
Like when the PHP version has been
New.
changed?
Yeah, I don't know exactly about the 8.2, but I know about it that they added type hinting and all those things
Okay.
to PHP, I guess.
So like suppose that like when language is going from 8.2 to 8.3. So what basically changes they are doing? What is the basic difference between that? And how it will affect to you?
They, yeah, they basically do security patches and they try to improve the built-in functions so that it gets less vulnerable. Yeah, I guess that is it.
That is it. That was quite good. Like suppose that like you're working on 8.2. Now the 8.3 has been released. So like if you are moving your back like particular code from 8.2 8.3, what changes you have to make?
I might change. As I said, I might change something related to security first, so that if there's any new vulnerability that they came in the market, then I will try to figure it out that how can I basically prevent it. And then what I will do is I try to improve the basically improve the working and the optimization of functions and all those things.
Okay.
First of all, then
Suppose
I'll
that
try to implement something that other, yeah. Then I'll try to improve my current functions or try to add more functions or features as current market trending languages are required.
yeah, but like this was a like quite very big process. Suppose that if one client is coming to you. Suppose that I'm your client. I'm coming to you. I'm just telling you that sir, like this one is my website and this has been built over the PHP 7.4. I would like to upgrade it to the 8.3.
Okay.
So how can you optimize that? Like
Okay.
why what like price I you have to suggest me? Like I will charge this much and these fixes I will do. So how you can be when like mainly customize it?
Mm-hmm.
So how you can get this now? Like if you are have to
I'll
like migrate from 7.2 to 7.4 from to the 8.3. So what you will gonna do best?
First of all, I'll go to the PHP official website
Okay.
and I'll learn what changes they made accordingly from 7.2 to 8.2 or whatever the latest version is. Then what I'll do is, let's say we have a server where I needed to update this. What I'll do is I'll try to take a clone, basically set up that project on my local and try to use it after changing my current PHP version. If I'm getting any broken things and all, broken features, I will try to fix it first. And yeah, I guess that is it. I'll
That is enough.
first do. And I'll also implement, yeah, yeah, and I'll also try to implement what new PHP version has been enforced, any new syntax or any other thing, or anything that suggests about security and all these things.
Okay. So what is your education actually?
I actually done my BSc IT.
You did BSc IT.
Yeah, last year only I gave my BSc IT exam.
Okay.
And yeah, actually just before my exams, I gave 2 to 3 interviews where I got 2 offers. So one of the offers is what my current company gave to me, and
Okay.
then after my exams, I joined that company.
So that was quite good. So here you are living with your family.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so like you are just going up down to the your current company from your home.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
it's only 6 7 kilometers, hardly 15 minutes train.
That was quite
Sorry.
good. That was quite good. So that was good. So are you mainly working over the core PHP or you are working over the Laravel?
I'm mainly working on Laravel actually.
Mainly working
In
over
the
the
beginning
Laravel.
of my career, I've been working on Laravel.
Okay. So have you know about like PHP has the function echo and the print. So what is the basic difference between those?
Yeah, so both does the same thing. The two main differences, Echo can basically have more than one parameters.
Okay.
That basically means it can print more than one variable or more than one string. And the print just does not do that. Also, the print has a different thing that the return value. Print has a return value basically. Whenever it prints, I guess it returns true. Uh,
Okay.
but Echo does not do that.
So which one is faster?
Yeah.
Like suppose that like if you are working with your
I
project.
guess
So
yeah. So Echo is much more faster because
how?
it doesn't have to return anything or check if they did work or not.
So
So Echo is faster actually.
like I feel so like you just read out it from somewhere like echo is faster just because of that like it is not returning anything. But I would like to know like why it is not returning, and if you are not returning anything, that means like it cannot be print also. So have you considered it
What?
like suppose that I what I believe so like most of the people are reading out it from like ChatGPT and all of the things where like we are just hearing like echo is just
Hmm.
fast because of that it is not returning anything. Am I right? Because it is
Okay.
like written out
Yeah.
there. But have you tried like if something is not returning anything, that means it cannot be echo that particular thing. So how it can be fast?
No. Just as say, if it's not returning anything, that basically means it's not even checking that it is printing correctly, and basically it is doing the work it is supposed to do. So that's why I guess it may took some less lines of code and all. That's
Okay,
why I think it is much more faster than that.
that was quite good. That was quite good. Okay, so have you info about the sessions? Like what is the start session is mean actually in the PHP? We are using session start.
Yeah, so session will start something basically starts a new session, and then we can basically put any information in the global session variable so that we can access that session value anywhere or any page of our website, PHP
Okay.
website
So
basically.
suppose that like when we are working over the PHP, we should have to do session start. But when we are working over the Laravel,
Right.
we don't have to do that. Why?
Yes. This Laravel does that automatically behind the scenes. That's why I guess.
So if you like, you would have to track about that, like that is working behind the scan or not. So how should you can check?
Either I can check for library behind the scene that Laravel is working on, or whenever let's say I've actually seen whenever we use DB request and anything, we can actually see sessions are being stored. Laravel default session are being stored in the session variable. So
Yeah.
that's why I guess it goes behind those things behind the scenes to the run its own framework also.
Okay.
That's why
So
we don't need to do it
so what is the
manually.
basically like session time? Basic session time. After that session time can be like your session is clear. So what is the basic session time?
In Laravel, actually, it is of 1 hour.
1 hour.
Yes, in Laravel, it is 1 hour, I
So
guess.
suppose that like you should have to change that value to where you can change. Like I would
In
like to
Laravel
make my
only, right?
session for 3 hours for like day. So where we can change.
Yes, yes. I guess I can change it from config slash app.php or bootstrap slash app.php. One of the files, I guess.
No. Okay.
There is a session expiry time on it.
Okay. So have you like work over the ENB decryptions? ENV decryption.
Email description.
Yes.
No, I haven't.
Okay, no issues. Okay. So like whenever we are just creating one Laravel project, you seen like there was one key is written there, app key.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
Inside the ENV file, there was a key that name is app key. So what is the use of it?
Yes, yes. So it basically used as a key for encryption purpose. Laravel default encryption functions like crypt and decrypt. So it basically uses that key to encrypt any information, and then whenever we try to access or decrypt that information, it basically uses that key to decrypt also. So many times a problem occurs when we encrypt some data into our database, and when we change the encryption key, it basically gets wasted because we don't have the last encryption key, and then it can be decrypted with that key.
Suppose that this key is not have with you. So like what will be happen?
I guess we won't be able to access that data that is encrypted with that. But
Like
I
in
guess in Laravel 11, there's something called previous app key, and the ENV which basically stores the previous key also, where it actually what it does is, let's say I have an app key and the previous key, and whenever I try to, let's say, encrypt or decrypt my stored information, if it does not decrypts with my current app key, it tries to decrypt with my previous app key. So that isn't how it works, I guess.
okay, that was quite good. Suppose that like you have that key, like I have just changed the value of it. Like I will go inside the env file and like whatever that key has been like stored value or and what it is, I will change inside it. So what will be happen?
I guess I won't be able to decrypt my encrypted information,
So have you tried
and
that?
wherever it is using, I don't know. No, I haven't actually yet.
Okay.
Like, but if I, yeah, at one time I've actually made by mistakenly I've changed that key. I've actually removed one or two characters from it when my app wasn't actually serving locally. So that's why I then just
No
created
issue.
a new app key.
Okay. So
At that time
like
I wasn't having any encrypted data.
okay,
So,
that was okay. So suppose that like inside your env application there was so many other parameters like pusher and all. Have you checked it up?
yes,
Yeah. So what is
yes, yes, it
pusher?
has.
Have you worked with pusher?
No, I haven't worked with this one.
Okay, you haven't worked with pusher. So, like, how much you just know about Laravel? Like, suppose that you should have to rate yourself around out of 10. So, how much you can rate yourself in Laravel?
I guess something around 7, 8.
7 and 8. That was okay. That was quite good number actually. Okay. So, are you familiar with Q jobs?
Uh, no, not that. I've worked with job. Basically, what we do is we create a job where we define an operation, basically, and then we use the dispatch function to dispatch that job whenever we want, basically. So that job basically goes into queue, and whenever the queue is actually whenever the queue does not have any pending task, basically runs that job that I've just dispatched.
So, have you implemented that inside your project?
Not by myself, but I've seen code and I've little bit debugged it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've just seen it.
So, like, have you know like when we have to use Q? Because like we can do that with directly with the function as well. So, like, if you are doing with that with Q, so like it has to be something else behind the scan. Like in that case, I should have to use Q.
Yeah, so why we use Q is actually, let's say, let's say I have to perform a task that might take my servers that might affect my server's performance.
Okay.
I guess that's why we use Q so that we don't load the Python server with a large amount of work that it has to do at once. So that's why we use Q so that it can perform a task at a time.
Yeah, that was like quite okay answer, and I will not get like gonna ask you like counter question over it because of that. Like according to your experience, you are actually doing good. because over the experience, but as I like think like if you have the 3 to 4 years of experience, then I have some counter question to you, like that, like we have events, we have other things. So according to your experience, you are just replying very well. Okay. So like have you worked with observables?
Yes, I have.
So what are observables?
So observers are basically a mechanism to observe over a event on any model. So what we do is we create an observer with a command called PHP artisan make an observer, and then what we do is we define on what we define as an operation that we want to do on a particular event, and then we in one of I actually forgot the name of the file, but at some file we basically define uh, uh, which model it is actually observing on. So whenever that event file, let's say creating or created, or let's say retrieving or retrieved or deleting or delete any event whenever that model hits or an event occurs, that observer basically uh, executes the operation that we define in it.
Okay, that was good. Okay.
Yeah.
So have you like know about the fillable property inside the models?
Yeah, so fillable properties are basically used for mass assignments.
Okay.
Whenever we try to yeah, whenever we try to store or update one or more columns, more than one column basically. So this is called mass assignment. So that property basically restricts what columns we can basically mass assign or change or add data to it using that model. So that is it used for.
So suppose that like you are working with migration. Have you worked with migrations?
Yes.
Yeah. Suppose that you are working with migration and I am not working with migration. So what like basically good with you and I have don't. What pros you have did actually?
So what the migration basis. Let's say I have to set up a new server, or I just want to set up my project on my local. Let's say, yeah. Then what I need to do if I don't have any migration, what I need to do then is I have to check what tables that I need to set up for my current project. Then I have to make it by manually, or I need to ask a person which already has the database setup. Now ask them to give me the database setup or SQL dump, whatever I can say. But if I have migrations in my project, what I can basically do is I can run PHP artisan migrate command. What it will do is it will basically create all the tables that I need in my Laravel project, or will do any alteration that I need to do in my current project.
Okay, that was okay. So like suppose that like if you are working with Laravel, so like there was some service containers actually.
Yes.
Yeah. So what are service containers?
I exactly don't know the definition, but I guess service containers hold multiple services or service providers. I guess.
Not so. Okay. So have you know about service providers?
Yeah, service providers are basically used for providing any third-party service. Let's say I'm getting a mail or service, and then I need to access that mail or services object into my Laravel project throughout the project. Then what I can do is I can define that service, and then I can create a singleton class instance and return it. Then using the app function, I can basically return that object into any controller and then perform any task or anything that I wanted to do with that object.
Okay. But I cannot able to understand by third party actually. Because of that, like if you have to like access the middlewares and all are the registered by the service providers as well. So like what do you mean by the third party?
So, what I meant by third party is, uh, as you said, middleware is also provided by the service provider. also the routes
Because everything has
that
been
we use,
registered
that
by
is
them.
API and web.php, right? Yeah, so those are built-in service providers, but let's say I'm using something else out of my project that is not built-in, so I need to use any package that basically provides me different service providers. So that's why I said without service provider.
Okay, okay, that was okay. So suppose that like inside your project you have two files. First one is the web.php and the second one is api.php and the console.php and other things are there. So like I would like to make another file like govin.php like there. So how I can make that?
So what I can do is I want to make Google.php. What I'll do is in the routes directory, I'll create that file, Google.php, and then what I'll do is I'll register that file into my routes service container, route service provider,
Okay,
and then I'll try to run the command that is PHP application optimize colon clear, which will clear all the routes, cache, and all those things, and I guess I'll be good to go with my new route file.
that was good. That was good. Okay, so like have you know about the one JSON?
What?
That was the function inside the PHP to converting the routes of the web into the APIs. So we are using the bond JSON. So have you familiar with bond JSONs?
No, not yet.
Okay. So have you familiar with the resources?
You mean resource routes?
No, about resources. Like resources having the several terms inside the Laravel. But I would like to know about the resources because it was like actually a data type from the Laravel and the PHP as well.
Resources, I guess, it is one of the type of variable, we can say variability data type. Resources is one of the PHP data type, which basically holds any file, let's say file content or any other thing that is not basically just a string or a number or a boolean. So that it is what resources.
Okay, that was okay. So like what is the basic difference between the controller and a resource controller?
Yeah, so in a basic controller, what we need to do is need to have we need to create our own functions. Okay, basically, but in a resource controller, there are built-in functions like index, store, create, edit, update, and destroy that are basically routed uh, that are basically have predefined routes. So whenever I'm using a resource controller, what I can do is in my let's say I'm using web.php for my routes. What I can do is I'll create a route with a function. Let's say as we normally do, what as we normally do is we use functions as route colon and then post or get whatever that we want to use as a method as a request method. But what I do is I will use the source function and then I'll pass the controllers. So what it will do is it will access try to access different routes that are actually predefined with a resource controller. So let's say I'm hitting the default route that I've defined for that resource controller. I will be actually requesting to be get requesting to the index function with a get method, actually the method basically. And there
Okay.
are several routes defined into it basically.
So how like your file will know that which time like have to call the view function, which time have to call the update function, and like what kind of the data type like method is actually like what time to we have to use put, what time we have to use post, what time we have to use get.
So as I said, in a resource route, whenever we pass any controller class, that resource route actually knows what kind of request can be made to what kind of function. It has actually predefined function in it that basically redirects to a particular route.
Okay, So have you familiar with the SQL? Like which database you are actually using?
for my skill.
MySQL. Okay. Suppose that like you have one users table, another table is post table. Now like
Uh,
user has created some post
okay.
actually there. Am I audible?
Mm. Yes, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So like first of all, like you have one users table, another table is post table. Some users are created some post there. So I would like to find out those users who haven't created any post. So how I can get from like SQL query?
Okay, that user table might have any foreign key that is related to the post table, right? Let's say post ID.
No, basically like multiple users are actually inside your users table. So like the foreign key inside the post table actually.
Okay, the foreign key is inside the post table.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'll do is, first of all, I'll select, let's say,
Can you write
one
that query
SQL
inside me in
username.
this message box?
Uh, for, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Please write like inside the message box so I can like understand better.
I guess I was. Yes, this will work. This again on the
Select star from
not
user,
the post.
select users.name from users, where user ID not in.
No, no, the below one, the second one.
How you think so like this query will work? Like can you explain me?
Yeah, so what it will do is it will fetch uh, names of the users where user ID is not present in this subquery. It basically fetches user ID from the post.
Okay. Select users IDs from the post. अब आप क्या like you are doing like every ID you should have to match with the particular post table ID and those IDs will not gonna match like you have that. Okay. So like
Yeah,
suppose that you should have to do in Laravel. So how you will do that?
correct. yes, I will do something like this, but I'm not sure if it
Here you
will
just
work or
select
not.
from username,
Uh,
that will be post dot user ID, where user ID equals to post dot user ID. Okay.
not sure about it, but
No issues, no issues. That was okay. Like you should have to make some little bit changes, and that your Laravel query will work, and also like your SQL query will work. There was some like little bit has been changes you have to do, and that all will be right. Okay. Altaf, like I would think so. Like according to your
so,
experience, like we have asked so many questions, and your answers, all of the questions are like in very well manner. So I find out that you are really very good person. So I was feeling so good like to be having an interview call with you. So like we are leaving for now today, and if you have any question, like we can like interact in the another session as well. So I think so like this was enough for us. And if you feel like you would like to give another one, we can come up with the another question and another level of hierarchy, like where we can judge you according to the 1.5 or plus years of experience, and then we will ask according the questions to in that manner as well. So like this is enough for today. I
okay,
think so you will enjoy.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I will enjoy a lot.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay.